Welcome to another episode of Bringing the Business. Got BC in the house.
You got Nick right here.
Man, what's going on, bro?
Same.
Once again, coming to y'all full effect, baby.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, man. What's going on in the NBA, man?
Look, we got our.
I got the old Joe King.
Yes, sir.
Got the old Joe King. We got to get Rose next to him.
You think Joe Kim a Hall of Famer?
Everybody can make the Hall. I mean, he a good player. No.
What does he have to help him? Defensive Player of the Year.
He got Defensive Player of the Year.
See, and I wonder, like we mentioned on one of the last episodes about when we talked about Rose, whether or not he can make it. Yeah. And we talked about him having an MVP, and I said I'm pretty sure that all MVPs are in the Hall of Fame.
Right.
So, but I wouldn't say that so much for Defensive Players of the Year.
Yeah.
Because think about this. I know he's not Hall of Fame eligible yet or whatever because he's still playing, but like Marcus Smart will not make the Hall of Fame.
Oh, no.
You know what I'm saying? He got one.
You get multiple ones, you probably can make it.
So that means Rudy Gobert's Hall of Fame?
He will make it, yes.
But see, that'd be my problem. So he's a Hall of Fame player.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that, but will he make it? Yeah.
Because I look at some of the Hall of Fame and I think, like, can we write this NBA story without you? So if we can't write this story without you, I think that kind of helps you when it comes to Hall of Fame. But if we can write this story without you.
Which is why I think Rose should make it, because he's the youngest MVP to be, he's the youngest to ever get an MVP. So, and in all intents and purposes, he changed the game.
I think that college championship would have helped him.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
If he'd, you know what I'm saying? If they'd won that chip when they lost to Chalmers over there in Kansas, I think that championship would have helped his argument because he would have had a little college background. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And 9 times, I don't know though. I was going to say 9 times out of 10 he would have been like they do a MVP sort of thing, right?
Oh man, I don't know.
Do they do that?
I don't know. I don't think so.
No, I don't think so. Now I think about it. But I was just gonna say, even if they did, CDR probably would have got it. Remember Chris Douglas?
Oh yeah.
Remember he was really the man.
Yeah, he was the man over there. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. He was really the man, but I guess it would have been a toss up. Because I'm thinking about that game. Rose played a pretty good game.
Yeah, he had a hell of a game, though.
Yeah.
He had a hell of a game in the championship game. If he would have made those free throws, they would have won. Yeah. That's what happened. He missed some key free throws.
Yeah, so. Yeah. But yeah, Joe, man, I tell people all the time, that was a fun time to be a Bulls fan.
Oh, yeah.
Doing that Joe Kim. They was missing, if they would have had Rip earlier, or if they would have had Jimmy earlier. Because remember, Keith Bogus was at the 2.
Yeah. If they would have had Jimmy, the Jimmy now?
Or the Jimmy with the Bulls. The Jimmy that was with the Bulls.
Right.
If they would have had him.
Instead of Bogus.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That'd have been a championship team.
Okay, so you think Jimmy going to tilt, and I'm a Jimmy fan. He's gonna tilt the scale that much. Because think about it, when they went in the Eastern Conference Finals, they lost 5-1. So you think Jimmy changed it that much?
I think so.
Where it go from 5-1 to them actually winning the series?
I think so. Bogus was, he's good defensively, but he's a liability.
Yeah. Whereas
you would have to check D Rose, Jimmy, Luau,
Boozer.
You know what I'm saying? And then you got Joe Kim, who the point center. You know what I'm saying? It'd have been a tough team.
And then it didn't help off the bench. You had people like Ronnie Brewer coming. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So you didn't really have.
But Brewer, he was solid, though.
Yeah, they always. Remember, there's a bench mob. They always
had Cal Corver come off the bench.
Wasn't a Sheep there?
Yep, Amir Sheep.
Yeah, you know.
That's called the bench mob.
Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah. So they was. You know what I'm saying? They was nice, but I think if we just had another 2, like I say, Rip came a few years later, or a year or 2 later, and then like I say, Jimmy developed it. Was drafted and developed. Yeah, so I think if we'd have had one of them 2, at that point, we'd have been straight. I remember Rose said, I don't know if you remember when we played Miami, in the playoffs, they were trapping.
Yeah.
To get the ball out of his hand.
Yeah.
And I remember him saying later on that he could never figure that trap out. You know what I'm saying? But if he'd have had another guard or somebody to, you know what I'm saying, move that ball, you know what I'm saying, they wouldn't have been able to trap him as easily.
Yeah.
You know, so like I say, that was a fun time to be a Bulls fan.
I went to a couple of those games.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Me too. Hey, so before, you know what I'm saying, I know we're going to stick in this NBA for a minute, but I was watching the game. I was watching like a highlight reel earlier today.
Okay.
And I'm going to switch the sport a little bit, but I'm going to stay in the same city. I have denounced I don't root for these Bears no more. I told you, it's too much heartache, too much, and not just because you lose, but just too many bad decisions. I think they have a problem where, I know they got Justin Fields there now, but not having a black quarterback, and I think they had issues with that, not wanting one or whatever like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I got my spiel on that. We'll get to that at a later date. I was watching a highlight reel from 2017 of a game between Louisville and Clemson. Deshaun Watson versus Lamar Jackson.
Right.
Both of them went crazy.
Mm-hmm.
It was a nail biter to the end. Deshaun them edged them out.
Right.
Like Lamar ran for like 2 touchdowns, threw for like 1, you know what I'm saying? And Deshaun threw for a bunch of touchdowns. He threw 3 picks though. Like it was a shootout. It was
right.
And then we come out in that draft the next year and pick Mitchell fucking Trubisky. Like, huh?
I know.
Like, I mean, what did y'all see?
I think everybody, especially in Chicago, everybody had the same reaction as you. Everybody did. You know what I'm saying? I don't understand. I think as a Bears fan, nobody will understand that pick. Nobody.
Like, what did they see?
I have no idea.
I give people a pass. I give them a pass over Mahomes. Because nobody thought Mahomes was going to be this.
Yes.
But at the same time, I say, why didn't our scouts see this?
Right.
But I'm going to give you a pass.
Right.
Deshaun fucking Watson just told Bama up on years, and then you come in and what they say, like Trubisky played like 10 games
like 10, 14 games, something like that. Yeah.
And this, like, huh?
Like I said, I haven't denounced him as a Bears fan, but I don't get that either. You know what I'm saying? You know what recently I said, and not to try to jump on any type of bandwagon, because I'm not going to say I'm going to be a fan of theirs, but I did say within the last 2 weeks, I'm going to get me a Jalen Hurts jersey.
Yeah. And it's funny you say that. I'm on Facebook, and so you can look back at your memories. And I said in 2009, like, he's always been my favorite out of the Bama quarterbacks.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, part of it is because he was the underdog. Part of, you know what I'm saying, they try to throw him away. He's just a winner, man. He's just a ball player, bro. Yeah. He's just a ball player. And I like Mac Jones. I like Tua. But Jay is just something. Jalen got an it factor or something, don't he?
Yeah, he do. I mean, it's just like we talked about it before. He a winner. Like he everybody keep counting him out. You know what I'm saying? College, they counting him out. That's why they went with Tua. He got a better arm. You know what I'm saying? More accurate, all this other stuff. He go to Oklahoma. He balled there. Yeah. He get drafted. Philly talking about he ain't that good, whatever. He got to get pushed in and start. He come there, he win. Even when he win, they like, well, we don't know. We look at somebody else. He come out, he ball. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you can't do nothing but root for somebody like that, because all you do is prove people wrong every single time.
Yes, sir. So
you know what I'm saying?
When you go get yours, I'm going with you.
Yeah.
Like I'm a Jalen Hurts fan as well.
Yeah, I said that. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna give me a Jalen. And I've never wore any other jersey but a Bears jersey. Okay. That's it.
So I'm with you on that one. Yeah, I want me a Jalen Hurts. I'm a Jalen Hurts supporter as well.
For sure.
Yeah, I rock with Jalen. Man, so we gonna you know what I'm saying, go into some of this not necessarily going into the NBA, because this topic that we gonna talk about
covers everything.
Yeah, bro.
Covers every sport.
Covers every sport.
Yeah.
So we was having a debate and we having a conversation about what were a dog mentality, killer instinct? What's another word for it?
I mean, that's pretty much it. Like having that dog mentality. You know what I'm saying? I can't really put it no other way that I could think of. Being a competitor.
Right, having a competitive spirit or something.
Yeah.
Or that,
like you said, that killer instinct. You know what I'm saying?
So what does that come from? Like, what do you think a killer instinct is developed from?
So it's funny because when we was talking about it prior to this episode, I made 2 phone calls. One phone call was to Dave Torres, the coach that we coach with, and the other phone call was to Jesse Plunkett, but the senior,
okay,
not junior. So I called Dave and I asked him. I said, "Look, people always talk about you get the dog mentality based off of your demographics, like where you grow up at. You got to grow up in a rough neighborhood.
Right.
You got, stuff like that." So I asked him. I said, "So your sons grew up in Evergreen Park. They didn't grow up in no rough neighborhood or whatever like that. But I said, what made Mike, the middle son? I said, what made him just a dog like he was, or is?"
Mm-hmm.
So he said, just competitive household. He's like, man, I never let them win anything. He's like, not even had to do with like sports. Like he said, any type of board game, any type, you had to beat me.
And not to cut you off and let you go on, but just to kind of touch on Mike for a minute. My first year of coaching, you know what I'm saying? First year of coaching. So I get, I out there with the O-line, D-line, and he was a older lighter.
Yeah.
So he couldn't play anything but the line on offense.
Or in defense, that's it.
It was defense too? Because then he played linebacker. So
nah, he couldn't. He had to be on the line.
He had to be on line on both sides, right?
Yeah.
So he basically, what an older lighter is he was old enough in age to move up to the next level, but he was too light as far as weight-wise. And so we had to play him on the offensive line.
Mm-hmm. And
he was just, like you say, he was a dog. He was smart.
Mm-hmm.
He was, you know what I'm saying? He was competitive. He was, and he was coachable, everything. So I saw that from the very first day that I started practice there, that boy was going to be a ball player.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, shout outs to Mike, man. Like, that's one of my favorite kids that I ever coached.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? In my life. Still see him now. You know what I'm saying? Dap it up, love having a conversation with him. But, yeah, I saw that early on.
Yeah, so like when I was talking to him, he was just like, it's just a competitive spirit. You know what I'm saying? It don't always have to come from, you come from a rough neighborhood. Of course, with that, when I get into the other conversation, but when I was talking to Dave, that's what he was talking about. He was like, man, we were just always competitive. He said the same thing with his oldest Dave, and the same thing with Bella, his daughter. They just a competitive household. You know what I'm saying? So that's instilled in them. They just hate to lose. You know what I'm saying?
You remember the Johnsons sat here and told us the same thing.
Yeah.
That their household was very competitive.
It's competitive, you know what I'm saying? So then when I talked to Jesse, we got into the same conversation and we talked about the demographics. And what Jesse was saying was the demographics in certain aspects, it does make you into that dog. But it's a different thing. It's more than just being competitive. It's more about, this is my way out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I gotta do this. I gotta go 100%. I gotta do all of this because this is my meal ticket.
But
you know what I'm saying?
Think about this though. Like when you're looking at the demographics and where you're from.
Yeah.
Usually, like just thinking about how we grew up in the hood and everything like that. And obviously we didn't make it pro, or we didn't, make it far in sports like that. But when we were playing, and even the people that we played against growing up, like in the hood, nobody was really thinking like, I want to get out, or I'm doing this to get out. It was just that this is what we do. Like, I don't want you to beat me. And especially like when we got to the point where we played different blocks.
Right.
Like, I don't want your block to beat our block. So it wasn't, and I get where Plunkett is coming from. And, you know what I'm saying? I think that's when you realize that you are that talented to make it out. But I'm saying starting off young, it was just about, I don't want you to beat me.
Yeah.
I don't want y'all to beat us.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it was, Man, yeah. So I think it was more about that.
Yeah, and then another thing that came up when I was talking to Dave was he was saying how it starts from home. You know what I'm saying? Now in sports, everybody get a trophy.
Yeah,
if
participation trophy.
If your kid don't play, you argue with the coach, you know what I'm saying? But your kid ain't good enough to play. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he need to practice some more, take practice, you know what I'm saying, more serious. But he can come there and be a dog on you know, as far as practice, and then on Sunday you arguing why he ain't playing. You know what I'm saying? And then he was like, nowadays, the parents say all intents and purposes, like we grew up rough, or you know, or certain people grew up rough. So now that your parents, you have a chance to not let your kid go through that. So now you kind of coddle them, give them everything, right? So now that kills their competitive spirit. You know what I'm saying? Because if they want to do something, they can do it. If they want to quit, you let them quit. You know what I'm saying? So now they don't have a competitive spirit because you let them start something and quit something whenever they want. So it's just a different mindset, you know, because the way we grew up was different. We trying to give our kids better, which you're supposed to.
Right.
But in hindsight, well, when you do that, you killing that competitive spirit within them. You know what I'm saying? So which just keep, you know, what the conversation that we had. And I agree with them. You know what I'm saying? Like when we coach kids, what we say every year, man, we need a dog. We missing that. But yeah, I mean, what we're fighting is we're trying to coach them into being a dog, but when they go home, they don't have to do that.
Right.
So we're fighting that, you know what I'm saying, every day. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, how do we make that? And another thing is it can't be just demographics, because think of like the new Lennox, the Creeks and stuff, like the white boys. They competitive as shit.
Yeah.
They live in good neighborhoods, probably do, you know what I'm saying? So it can't be just got to do with, you know, I'm from a rough neighborhood, this, that, and third. You know what I'm saying? Of course, it helps when you have like them people out here who like, man, they gonna go all out. What they got to lose?
So I mean, like, I think that all of this that we're saying plays a part, but I think it's something in a person as well.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Like it's something in a person as well that they have within themselves too.
Yeah.
And I think that spirit is fed by more competition. That's like my son, for instance. This is his first year playing football. 6 years old. And now he's to the point where he asking questions. Daddy, what, you know, man, did you know the center does, because he's playing center. Did you know the center does this? Did you know this? And he come to me the other day, Dad, somebody got mossed the other day. You know what I'm saying? Like, Dad, boy, what you know about being mossed? And then now he's playing with the older kids. You know, we got a family of older boys across the street.
Yeah.
And he like, my son's 6. They like 9, 12, and 13, something like that.
Right.
And he out there getting pushed around, and you know, and I'm sitting there loving it. Like, push him around, you know what I'm saying? You know, because I want him to get this, I guess what we call in this dog or this mentality.
But you don't think that's been instilled through you?
Yes, but you know, kids learn more from their peers.
I mean, they do, but
that's with anything. You know what I'm saying?
But the first person you mimic, if you do have a father,
it's your father. Most definitely.
You know what I'm saying? So
most definitely,
he's seen some type of competitiveness within you that he's drawn upon. You know what I'm saying? And that's why he is. That's why the same thing with Kendall. That's why she is the way she is. You know what I'm saying? Why she took to that sport, softball. You know what I'm saying? And now she's getting that same thing. She's seeing it from somewhere.
And it's a bunch of, like, when we go out to practice, I'm gonna dog you out here.
Right.
I'm gonna love on you when we get in the car. We're gonna go get some ice cream. We're gonna do all that. But when we on this field, this softball field or whatever like that, I'm gonna talk crazy to you. I'm gonna, you know what I'm saying? Tell you, I'm gonna be a second away from telling you ain't shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, and then I do little drills with her, like if we working on catching. All right, we can't get out of here till you catch 10 straight balls.
Right. Same thing I did with Jada. Yeah.
And when you get to number 9, I'm all in your face. You scared now, ain't you?
Right.
Like you know, I can see you ready to fold. Like you can't take this pressure. Like you scared right now. You nervous right now.
Right.
You can't take this.
Yeah.
And she said that, Daddy, stop. No, you can't take. I can tell you can't take this shit.
Right.
And then if she miss it, I told you can't take it. Now to start over.
Start all over again.
If she catch it, I roll all on the ground with her like we had won a championship.
Right.
But I'm trying to steal that when this is pressure, baby.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah.
Man, we played with basketball rims we had to make out of tire rims and crates. And the ball was all locked. It had titties in it, and you know what I'm saying? But man, that's back in the era though. Like we talked before, that's back in the era where that's all we had. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, and we wasn't poor.
Nah, we weren't poor, but that's all we had. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying like, I don't mean that's all we had as far as financial stuff. I mean, that's all we had as far as being out there and doing something. Right. You know what I'm saying? So we enjoy competing. Right. You know what I'm saying? Because we played. Sports was our outlet. Yeah. That's what our outlet was. So of course, when you go out there and play, you ain't trying to go out there and fucking lose. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So that was our outlet. Nowadays, when you can play a video game, and this shit that happened to me plenty of times when I first started playing. You play a video game, about to lose and cut the motherfucker off. Right. I ain't lose. Motherfucker, you did lose. Nah, the game got cut off. You know, that's what I'm saying. Like we was competitive. We talked about before, you go to the basketball court, it's full. Yeah. You lose, your ass might well go home. Yeah. Cause you ain't playing. Right, that's what I'm saying. You like 10, 15 games back. You know what I'm saying? So shit. So your thing is, man, when I get on here, I'm gonna ball out so I don't lose. Hell yeah. But it's just a different era, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, but there's some dogs today. It is some dogs. It is. I mean, I'm not saying it's not. But my question to you is, like, especially with who we around, how do you get to that level? How do you get those kids to that level? And you know, one thing that I see, like, you know, obviously we coach Park District, right? We coach elementary, grammar school, whatever you want to call it. Mm-hmm. One thing that impresses me is to see a kid that was soft or that we used to push around, or, you know what I'm saying, and that in high school and they you know what I'm saying, that they dogs. You know what I'm saying? So some of that is maturity too. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Some of that comes at a point when a kid matures. Mm-hmm. I agree with that. You know what I'm saying? I agree with that. And we talking about like a dog mentality. It spills, when you have a dog mentality from sports and stuff like that, it spills over to your everyday life as well. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, in my home, I'm gonna shovel shit if I got to make sure the lights on and whatever. Like, I'm gonna go out there and get it. Right. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? A lot of that comes from sports. That's why I can't fold, because I was taught not to fold. Mm-hmm. I was taught to fight to the bitter end. I was taught to, you know what I'm saying, to get it. Yeah. And that's another conversation within itself that we can talk about, that we'll be here all night talking about, like, how has sports tailored your life? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? How has that, you know, helped you to just see life a different way? People think like, I just play sports and it's fun. Yeah, it's fun, but what has it taught you? So that's a whole other conversation within itself that we can get into, but we get into that later because we'll be talking about this shit all night too. And I learned, bro, from when I started coaching. I can remember the game, everything. I was coaching with my pops. And one of the kids did something and kind of like checked out mentally, right? Mm-hmm. And my dad told me, I said, man, put some. He said, look at him. He said, look at his face. Look at his eyes. He said, I can look in his eyes until he checked out. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So I learned how to read kids that I'm coaching and everything like that. Just not even what they say. Not even, you could look at look in their face and tell, like, no mas. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? No mas. I don't want none of that. I don't want no more. Yeah. Yeah. You know, obviously you can tell from if they get the ball, on the kickoff, how they tiptoe. You obviously can tell for that. But you also can look in a person's face. Oh, yeah, you can tell.
and tell if this here ain't what I want.
I see it all the time. All the time. I mean, you try to coach them through it, but I see it all the time.
So do you respect, as a coach, from a coach, you've been coaching a long time, do you respect the kid? I had a kid when I was coaching high school. Big kid. He about my size now. I'm 6 feet, 240 right now. He was about that. He was about 6'1", you know what I'm saying? Maybe about 225, something like that. As a kid, maybe like a sophomore or something like that, right? First year come out to play. So we like, man, this kid strong as hell, you know what I'm saying? All this wool. So, you know, he got thrown around, you know, but we just like, okay, we just gonna develop this kid with. Man, that kid came to practice for about 3 days, went through that stuff. Maybe a week, I don't know, maybe a week at the most. At the most, we played for a week. Man, that man came there with his helmet under his shoulder pads.
Turn this shit in.
Turn this shit. Coach, this ain't for me, man. Like, man, it's just, it's too rough. Like,
okay.
So do you respect that kid more?
I mean, do.
To realize this ain't.
I actually do. Because I say it all the time to kids. It's okay. So, I mean, you don't have to play football. If it ain't for you and you know it ain't for you, that's fine.
You'll get hurt being out there.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. So I tell kids that all the time. Look, if this sport is not for you, I have nothing but the utmost respect for you.
You'll be pissed as your son did that.
I mean, not necessarily. Not necessarily.
Because at a certain point or a certain extent, you would look at it as punking out. Yeah, another great episode of Bringing the Business.
Yes, sir, man. Hey, so let them know where they can find us at, B.
Man, we bring the business on Facebook. We bring the business on Instagram. We bring the business on our YouTube channel. We bring the business on TikTok. We bring the business on Spotify. All you got to do is type that Bringing the Business in and check us out, baby.
Like you said, Bringing the Business. Bringing DA Business. Like you said, man. Check us out. We all over the place, man.
Man, share it. Let your people know about it, man. And, man, we got some good stuff for you.
And leave comments, man. Like I said, I just signed up 2 people today for, we ain't gonna say signed up. Well, I talked to 2 people today who subscribed to the page. So, hey, we're gonna just keep it coming, man.
Yes, sir.
Hey, appreciate y'all for checking out the episode, man. Peace.
Peace out, baby.